Hi, everyone. Welcome to the December Millennials in Travel National Meeting. International meeting now that we have international chapters. So global managers and directors. It's the 6th of December. So first off, we're going to hear from Jessica Rosen, who was on the most recent FAM trip. So Jessica, welcome, and please give us your feedback on how the FAM went.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Hi to everyone who doesn't know me, and then hello again to everyone that does. Sorry, my video's not on. I'm just driving, so that's probably safer that I keep it off. So the FAM was awesome. I first of all, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to go. And then, I mean, do you have any specific feedback, or should I just like ramble on what I think about everything?
Well, I mean, from your perspective, I think it's important to provide how, as a host, do you feel that as the organization we were prepared, that we set you up for success? And, what was the feedback from both the hosts and, the other participants?
Okay. I definitely felt like, well, first and foremost, the group of advisors that were picked for this were all amazing. I think the host at Belmont was really happy with who they were. And then overall, just the group got along really well. Like it just felt like one big girls trip. And I've led several FAMs before, and this was by far like the best group I've been on a FAM with. So that was just awesome. I felt like the host was like so great. All the activities were so nicely well done. Everyone was like really well prepared, and they took such good care of us. Like all the dinners were really nice. All the extra amenities, all the surprises were really good. And at the end of the trip, we like throughout the stay, like everyone got drinks at the bar, like after hours and everything. And before we left, they removed all of that, which I thought was like above and beyond as far as FAM trips go. And then we had like one-on-one time with like the general manager, director of sales, like person in charge of reservations, so just all the staff. So we really got to like meet with the locals that have been working at the hotel. And I think overall they they sold me on the hotel, but they sold me on the brand a lot, just because everyone that we spoke to was just so passionate about Belmont. So that was really good on that part. I felt pretty good about everything. I felt like prepared for the trip. I mean, it was the Caribbean. It was only like 3 days, so it wasn't that demanding as far as like other FAM trips in the past have gone. Like I know Caroline went on a FAM trip with like Morocco, and it was very demanding. So this one was a little bit more casual. So I felt pretty prepared. The one thing was, I was like talking to the host from Belmont, and she was like mentioning some of like the process of how like of the application process for the advisors. So I kind of wish I knew a little bit more about like what they had to do in order to be on the FAM, just so I like knew what to say when they were talking about it. But other than that, I thought it was pretty great. I hope that helps answer that.
Yeah, I think just the fact that it was, that not just the hotel, but the brand itself, because we do have a couple more things that we're working on with Belmont, and it is a great brand. So thank you for that feedback, and we'll definitely make some changes and tweaks to ensure that there is that solidarity when you're in the destination of being the extension of Millennials in Travel. So thank you for hosting.
Thank you. Seriously, thank you so much. And they like asked questions about Millennials in Travel, and I answered like all of them based off my experiences. And like I've had a great experience. Like my first Millennials in Travel event, I met someone, we hosted events together. Like it was so good for me. So that was an added, like I had that information, but just like the whole application process would have been
sure.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay, well, safe driving.
All right, thank you. Enjoy the meeting.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so definitely, I think as we sent out an email a couple weeks ago to get people to sign up for so they can be assigned an MIT ID. That's on a repetitive basis if they don't open that up. I think every 7 days, because we need to get that in there. So we have a unique identifier, which helps us on our back end. And then in January, we are going to do a push to get more feedback from membership and those that are in millennials in travel on what we can do to be more effective and the opportunities that we can provide to all of the members. Elizabeth is not on this call. She had a last minute thing she had to handle, but as far as Elizabeth, what she's doing, so we participated last week, actually, was it this week? Last week, in the Europe Travel Expo by TravPro Mobile and TravPro. So we are going to be actually participating in 6 of those events next year. They're for different themes. We have a booth, so we have this virtual booth that was created, and Elizabeth and I, mainly Elizabeth, sat in on this virtual booth where we had, I think, 350 advisors come through over the course of 4 hours visiting our virtual booth. So we're going to be continuing that next year. And we may look out or ask to see if people want to sign up to like man the chat for like an hour on each of those dates, because I think it can get a little, you have to be at your computer. And Elizabeth is already at her computer, unable to move because she was in another virtual conference the same time. So she was easily able to switch back and forth. But I think just to kind of like spread that out. But she did say that it was pretty successful in that she talked to a lot of people. We did have an uptick in people signing up for Millennials in Travel that day. So I think it's a great opportunity, and it's free for us, where they just have gifted us this booth in return for us kind of promoting their events. So we are also probably, I think, once the new year starts, I think we're going to officially join USTOA as an associate member. And that'll open up the doors for us to have larger conversations with tour operators and airlines and tourism boards. And I really think kind of solidify who we are. I don't know the stipulations because we obviously don't have $1 million in escrow, which is kind of a requirement for USTOA. But at the same point, we're not offering trips. So I think there is kind of a workaround. And I've had a great relationship with them for many years. So if that's the case, I think what's probably going to happen is we'll be more participatory in their events throughout the year. And those events happen all around the country. So somebody, if they're in New York or if they're in Atlanta, when they do these pop-up events, it'd be great for us to have a presence there, whomever's closest to the venue. And depending on what our budgets look like for next year, we may even be able to like provide a complimentary hotel stay for you if you have to like drive a couple hours in the city, which I think is us kind of maturing and getting older and growing up as an organization, finally after 8 years, but we're well on our way. I'd like to just quickly turn over to Caroline. She obviously came on board, I think like the day of the last time we had our last meeting. But if Caroline, if you have any updates on like things you're working on for sustainability or philanthropy, you can share them.
Hi, everyone. My name is Caroline. I'm just going to introduce myself first. I'm an advisor based in LA.
I'm sorry, Caroline, did I not introduce you last time?
No, I was on the call last time. This is my first one.
You weren't on the call last time?
No, this is my first one.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me back up. I'm sorry. Okay,
You're good.
That we've had obviously multiple meetings, and I guess my Zoom meetings, there's a little bit of fatigue.
They all blend together. It's okay.
Yeah. So this is Caroline. I mean, I'll let her introduce herself, but Monica had been kind of targeting her for a couple months, just because you're so passionate in everything that you're doing, and we just needed to find like the right fit. And so we've tweaked that role for philanthropy. It's now philanthropy and sustainability, and it'll fall under my team. And looking at how we as an organization obviously can be more involved in philanthropy and sustainable and extending those opportunities and programs and initiatives to the membership and hopefully the industry overall. So Caroline, now you can introduce yourself.
Thank you, Josh. So as you said, I'm Caroline based in LA. I'm an advisor, and my biggest passion is sustainable travel. I'm always, looking to learn more about it, to work with partners who have the same ethos as I do, and also to like educate my clients on it. And so when this opportunity came around, it was kind of the perfect fit. So, I mean, I just got started, like you said, like within the past few weeks even, but I'm super excited about this role, and I would love to sort of bring sustainability and philanthropy like more to the forefront of millennials in travel, because I feel like as younger people in the industry, we have the opportunity to really kind of guide the future of it and like kind of show what's important to us, what's important to our clients. And so I'm really excited about this role. Yeah.
And we're excited to have you. And obviously that's a huge passion of mine as well. So yeah, there's a lot that we can do. And I think that that's going to also help validate and elevate us as a brand in what we're doing and trying to make change in the world. So
for sure.
Derek, do you want to share any updates on Gen Z and travel?
So no official update from Gen Z and travel at the moment. More so looking at US2A and the event tomorrow and trying to put our best foot forward and really get millennials in travel in front of as many tourism boards as possible.
Yeah, so I think, I don't know if we spoke about this on the last call, but we're kind of putting Gen Z in travel as an official organization kind of on the back burner. I think it's a lot for us to take on. So we're obviously still focused on being relevant, both within the millennial generation and Gen Z. But there's a lot of heavy lifting with an organization, and we just need to make sure that we don't want to do something half-ass, and need to make sure that we have everything in place before we officially launch this, a new organization. So Derek's going to be focused on, again, providing that Gen Z input and guidance on, younger millennials or Gen Z in, how we can help them. And then how do we look at programs within that we're currently offering? Do we need to tweak them for Gen Z? And also I think focus more on that inspiration. And now that, everybody's trying to hire whomever, there's not enough people to fill the roles. We need to kind of step up and help to ensure sustainability as an industry. So making sure that people see travel as a potential career and an exciting career. And so that was really going to be a lot of the focus of Gen Z and travel. And I think we're just going to then integrate that through millennials and travel. And eventually at some point, we'll hopefully launch Gen Z and travel. But until then, it's just a domain. So, okay. So since Monica is not here, I'm just going to, I don't really have an update from her perspective as far as chapter development. But Stephanie, do you want to share anything that you have been working on or that you're privy to that Monica was?
I don't have too much in terms of the new chapter development. I haven't gotten a chance to really sit down with her and kind of dive into it. We did have the opportunity to sit down with all of the existing chapters though, and kind of talk about 2022 and what that's going to look like for them. And I mean, everybody has a great plan in mind. Everybody has an idea of when they need all of their events to be or what outreach they're looking at. The only thing that did seem like a very common thread in all of the conversations that we had with the chapters was that they were having a little bit of, not necessarily an issue, but I guess like a communication breakdown in communicating to venues why it's like a shared interest for everybody, for venues to want to host an event essentially for millennials and travel. So I guess the outreach in terms of not necessarily going out and saying, hey, what can you do for us? Trying to kind of help them get past that barrier of saying, this is what we can do for you as well. So like I said, that was kind of a very common thread with all of the chapters. So it's something that I do think that when I do get a chance to sit down with Monica, we'll have to chat about how we can kind of get past that barrier and help all of them move forward a little bit.
I mean, I think if we do look at it from a collaborative effort, and if we can get some funding from, if everybody kind of throws in a little bit. So if we can get some funding from, a tourism board and say, hey, listen, like these are the cities in which we have chapters, if you give us, $500, $800 per city, and we'll kind of brand those events that way, that's some money we can throw towards an event. And maybe, there's a local wine operator, or I'm not really sure, that can, so collectively we kind of come up, and as long as the hotels can provide the space, maybe, the staff or whatever for F&B, and maybe even the food.
Yeah.
So let's look at it from that perspective, and
Yeah,
we'll kind of
no,
gauge the interest from
definitely. Definitely. Like I said, I just think we need to be a little bit more creative in helping them with that. So once we can get past
Sure.
that hurdle, I think they'll be great.
Okay, great. And Nina, what is going on with FAMS?
So I'm getting ready to prepare. Actually, I'm started preparing for Scottsdale today for the invite and the website. I'm still waiting for some details. Once I have that, I can send that to you, right, for the website still? Sure. The invite, I'm gonna build then from there. And so we have a two night stay in Scottsdale, which will be also during the launch event of the Scottsdale chapter. And that's the other piece that I'm still missing a little bit of information on. I texted with Monica briefly today though, and she's going to work on that this week. And so that's the first PAM. I don't have a host yet, and I don't know how the whole launching of the chapter plays into that, but that's something that we do have to solve in the next couple of weeks. And then I'm really excited that Shangri-La is going to partner with us for February with London and Paris. And actually, it's going to probably be March, the very first week of March. And I'm still waiting for details about the air piece. They kind of find out of what is the departure city and kind of what we had talked about. But that's really exciting. I think that it's our first true international FAM, I would say, besides the Caribbean and Mexico. So I think that's going to be great. And then I have a couple of others slotted for I have mostly every month something that is in the pipelines or talked about. We have decided to kind of keep July and August off the books, because what we learned this year is that people are really busy and we didn't really get a lot of interest. And so I kept those months open for now, but we have a good mix between a lot of stuff is still quite close. So Hawaii, Bahamas, Mexico, not too much else for Europe so far. But again, I think as we get some more leads, we can work on that as well. And then I know Kate is getting ready to go on her FAM actually very soon here. Thank you for doing all the legwork there. I think it helps me out a lot, to be honest, when hosts do take over quite a lot of this. When it comes closer to departure, to just communicate with the host and communicate with the participants. I also think it does really lead nicely into taking on the whole MIT host role while you're on the FAM, because the people
that's kind of what Jessica was alluding to, is like being more participatory in the process. So yeah, I think that definitely in the future, we need to bring them in earlier and then take things off your plate. Yeah. I do think that if there's some very enticing opportunities for July and August or June, that's like an air inclusive, that's not Mexico, I do think that there probably will be interest. I think it's just, I think it was more of a destination versus a timing thing. Yeah. For those.
And that's fine. And again, if whatever comes my way, I do follow up with. And oh, the other really big international, sorry, I totally forgot that one, is the Latin America one. Actually was Belmont, and I still need to connect with them to take that further. But yeah, so I think there are some really good ones in the pipeline. I'm trying to kind of stagger it a little bit month to month, because it is quite a lot of work, and I feel they do need some time to sort through their details anyways. And so having an initial call, and then it kind of takes a little bit usually, but yeah, that's where I am with the FAMs right now.
Okay. Great. Well, jumping over to Kate.
Yeah.
Do you have any updates?
Yeah, so am getting ready to leave tomorrow to St. Lucia with the Viceroys. Very excited about that. Josh, and then I don't know, maybe Anina also, could you guys just stay for like 2 minutes after this? I actually just got some news that someone is potentially COVID positive, so they won't be coming now. So just want to talk about that world we live in, but besides that, very excited. For membership stuff, not a lot to share with the group, just kind of working through back end stuff on Zoho, keeping everything up to date. The membership survey we discussed is going to be pushed to early next year probably. So that is ready to go whenever we're ready to send it out. But
we did add a couple more automations that allows us to be a little bit more efficient in our deduping and unsubscribes and everything. So at this point, I mean, almost everything's automated. So
yeah, there's certain things I just have to go through, but like what Josh has been working on with Zoho and just creating that system for us to work for us as customized as possible has been really exceptional in terms of just keeping our database up to date and just easier in terms of being in contact with, you know, all of our members when need be and making sure everything that we have is correct and current for them. So yeah.
It's really nice to work with. I find it very, very easy to navigate when I was doing my little updates and stuff. So yeah, I like the platform.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has access to the views and can search. It's I think it's probably going to be one of the better databases in the industry. That eventually we can have people, they can update their own information. So it's kind of profile driven, but and then we have, I guess we're I'm not totally sure what the bridge is, but we are starting to work with the bridge, which is a community. There's Kim or Monica would actually Jessica, who was just on, she would have been able to tell us more, but we'll probably, I'm sure we'll learn more about it next fall. And over to Amanda. Any updates from your side?
My update is I've had a couple meetings with Box Media, who I'm working with them to put together some training programs that I think will be beneficial after letting them know kind of what our members would want out of some training. So they are going to be in contact later this week. I'm getting in touch with another person that's going to send over some demos for some certifications. That will be, one was data analyticals, just dealing with the ever-changing with future travel and how that goes. So they're going to put together some and then see where they can fall into offering a discount, and then be able to send them over to chat further with Kate once I have those, so that we can see which ones will work. So I think that could be a good fit working with them.
We might also, with, you know, we could also, while they're going to give us a discount, we could also maybe look at doing like a scholarship program as well, and going to destinations that are super high tech focused. So like having conversations with Israel Tourism, the Minister of Tourism of Israel, and saying, would you like to kind of be the scholarship provider? And we can say brought to you by. Throw in a lot of other promotion in the destination to even subsidize it further. So it's actually, I don't know what the costs are, but again, it's that collaborative approach in that Israel will kind of be getting recognition through our channels and media, and in turn also just kind of helping the altruistic view of just helping others learn more. So yeah, once you have more details, we can kind of have other conversations.
Yes, they'll be sending me over some stuff to review. So once they send that over, then of course that will have a cost with it, but then being able to really review the program to see if that's going to be a good fit for our members. But I'm hoping so, because it seems like they want to work with us.
And how are jobs going? Are people like sending in jobs? Are people?
They're trickling in. Yes, they're trickling in. So not a whole lot, but there are some that are coming through, which is good to see, but not a lot at the moment. But I feel like going into next year, at least just what I've been talking to other colleagues and things like that in the industry, next year, I think we're going to see a lot more openings coming in. I think as the rebuild of this year and going into next year, I think it's going to open up.
Yeah, I think we just collectively as a leadership team, we also need to kind of share with those that we're working with and, you know, whether it's on LinkedIn, but I mean, it's a free resource that we have, you know, for them. We don't charge for it. Whereas I mean, we filled roles that I know these, you know, they're paying, you know, 1/12 or 1/10 of the salary to get that role filled, and we've done it for free. So, you know, share that with all of your friends and colleagues. And I think, you know, the more that we can grow that channel, and that's just gonna, I mean, we just want to help the members, and you know, that is one way that we've been doing that. So
Yeah, that's very appealing that there's not a cost, because that's what I do see in some of the messages is saying, you know, is this a cost? Do you do this for free? And they
Yeah.
are, you know, ecstatic that they can, you know, have it be posted through our members and a lot of people that will see it, but they're not having to pay for it.
We
So
used to
that's a
monetize
great-
this. We had an advertising contract, and we had a referral contract based off of different things. And as much as, I mean, I was going through cleaning out like we had like a lot of, we were, I mean, not a lot. I would say like maybe 20 companies paid us for job referrals or postings. You know, a couple of years ago, and then we didn't have somebody in that role, so we couldn't manage it. And then, you know, that was the challenging part. I don't think now is the time to monetize it by any means. But before, it was also, we almost collected all the information on our website. And then we went through and collectively gave our thoughts as a team on the prospect of that. We were almost acting as a recruiter, and we just don't have that capacity. And I don't think we need to move into a role in which there's already those roles out there, and like, let's do what we do best, which is like just provide these opportunities and be an aggregate for, you know, supporting millennials in the travel industry.
Absolutely.
Cool. So Caitlin, jumping over to you.
Yeah, so for us, well, I'll speak on behalf of Jenny. She is working on the newsletter, which technically is supposed to be going out tomorrow, but she said she needed a couple more days. So we should hopefully have that out definitely this week, and that's going to be the last one, obviously, for the year. So yeah, we have that coming out this week. And then also on behalf of Jenny, you know, we've been working on trying to have more blog posts outside of just the blogs that are coming out in the newsletter, and just kind of having a better system, or create a system really, so that we can ensure that those are getting out to our membership and to our followers and such. So I've been working with her and Amber to ensure that we do that, which I'm sure will hopefully, you know, start to pick up in 2022. So we're just working on that. And then Natalie, she's still fairly new. So she's, you know, working on helping us clean up our media contact list, help us create a media kit. And she's also helping us finalize a promo video that we filmed earlier this year, working together with Andres based on our edits and feedback to help us get that finalized so that we can use that, you know, for media and promotions moving forward. And then,
as much as I love the old video where I look fresh and young and I'm like my early 30s, we definitely need an update on that.
Yeah, and Natalie, you know, has some really great insights. So she's going to help us finalize that and make it look good so that we can use it moving forward. And then Amber, she and I, you know, we're working kind of revamping the kind of takeover Excel that we've been using, and just kind of making that a little bit more jazzy, a little bit more, just have a little bit more like detail on there. And we're going to send an email out to everybody. So managers, officers, directors, to really encourage everyone to participate in 2022 when it comes to takeovers. And also, you know, one kind of I think that we always run into is like ensuring that we're not overlapping with events and FAMs that we also have takeovers for. So just cleaning that up a little bit and making sure that we're being aware of the multiple things that we have going on, and keeping it streamlined and simple. So that is happening. And
Can
hopefully
we use Caroline's as a perfect example of how to do a takeover?
I know. Well, I wanted Amber to actually reach out to you to find out what like tools you were using. I don't know if she ended up doing that or not, Caroline, but your story was like incredible.
Oh my gosh, you guys are too sweet. Thank you so much. I mean, I actually struggle so much with social media, but I use like Unfold, Canva, and like just the regular stories.
Oh my God, that's so good to know, because we use Unfold. Well, we created a tutorial a long time ago, actually, like no, it's probably like the beginning of the pandemic, which I guess was a long time ago, that we have access that everybody hopefully should have access to, where CNM broke it down for us on how to use Unfold so that we have that, saved somewhere. And then Amber, I think it was like a month or two ago, just created like an MIT login for Canva. And so when she did her takeover, she used it, but we might have to have you jump in on a call sometime, Caroline, to offer some pointers.
Also, do you think that you could film like a 5 or 10 minute video on like how to, like, that if somebody does a takeover, like, hey, just watch this 5 to 10 minute video, like, to just help create better content. And then that can be housed, and whenever anybody needs or decides to do a takeover, if they're not, like, I don't remember the tutorial for Unfold. I would not know how to do any of that. But I think having kind of scheduling a call may be a little bit too much, but if we can record a video, we can put it on YouTube.
Yeah. Amber and I discussed that, like having calls with everybody, and that would just be, that's just too much. She already has so much on her plate. So to do weekly calls with people is just too much. And so, yeah, we had actually discussed her filming a tutorial. We were talking about reels, like kind of diversifying the types of posts. And so maybe doing like, rather than just static, one photograph posts, like how to do a reel and how to use Canva. So there's 2 videos that she can, film, that I think we can just create and have it there, and people can watch it when they want, rather than her having a bunch of phone calls. So yeah, I think we can add that as another suggestion to the how-tos.
Yeah, I would also say, like, because when I did the takeover, Jessica was the one who asked me to do it, and she sent me like the PDF, that 1-pager. It was just like, what to include, what not to include, that type of thing. But I mean, I had no idea what I was doing. And so I was like trying to find like on the highlights some like past examples, but I couldn't find any. So maybe some guidance, like in that sense, like, oh, this was a good one. Like just even like a screenshot, like something like this or something like that could help. Cause I was like, I kind of felt like I was flying blind a little bit. I was like, I don't know if this is what they're looking for. I don't know if this is right, but
so
beyond what we were looking for.
Yeah, no, it was incredible. So you wanted to see some examples. I think actually we have yours saved now in a highlight as an example, like it's just yours. So that's already in there. So you're our example.
Cool. Yeah, I think that would be helpful.
But yeah, you know what, too, maybe like Caroline, if you don't mind us leaning on you a little bit, because we have you as an example, when we do create like a little quick how-to tutorial of Canva and how you did it, have you join in on Amber and I creating that.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to help with that.
Yeah, because that was really great.
A quick point, because we utilize obviously like that combo November and December and like June and July to like catch up on newsletters. So we want to get back obviously to like earlier in the month or first of the month. So like almost have it in like 30 days for like the January newsletter.
Yeah, I'm hesitant. Like, I don't think we should do it at the beginning of the month for January, though, of all months, because I think people are still going to be on vacation or slowly coming back to work and not necessarily checking their emails. So I don't think that we should. I sort of feel like we should do at the earliest the 2nd week of January, but maybe even the 3rd week of January, because it also gives us time to kind of do it. I don't know if everybody agrees with that.
That's kind of why we like threw those months together to kind of like get caught up again, because we usually start in the beginning, then like it gets pushed back, and then every 6 months we're like the last day of the month and like scrambling. And I think there's probably gonna be a lot of info. I would say like if we can do like end of the 2nd week, like that Thursday of the 2nd week would be great, because there's a lot of stuff we need to promote as well that I don't know if it's going to make it into this newsletter, because we just don't have that information. Like New York Travel and Adventure Show. We're probably going to be participating in that in some way. We just don't have the details yet. So I think, yeah, I mean, if we can do like end of the second week or like
the
early third
13th.
week, that would be great.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I mean, does everybody on this call, like, just as like, just sourcing opinions, like, do you check your email? Like, would you like miss a newsletter if we did it at the beginning of January? Do you think it's better if we do it the second week?
I think definitely like the first few days of January, I'm like not totally checking my email.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think definitely the second week. Like we're
cool
doing
with
it
the second week.
Yeah, I think that first week might be a little dicey, but the second week I think is doable.
I think in the first week you catch up on so many emails too, right? Because people are off and like, I don't know, I think I don't have as much patience when I have a whole full inbox than when I am like cleaned out, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Okay.
We just have to make sure that we have that consistency, because you can see when people are opening up emails. And, you know, last week, like, I mean, there were people that were opening up, you know, old fam invites. And I'm like, what? I mean, I think if we're more consistent in our communication, I think there was going to be a higher open rate, because if I were an advisor and I was opening up an email where I saw that I could like apply for a Bellman fam, would have been like, oh my gosh, like I wish I would have opened it up. And will next time. I think that's probably going to be happening more and more, but we just have to be consistent in our communication.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. That's it. Go for it.
So when we have our call in January, let me look at dates, which we might have to postpone it depending on when I think January 3rd might be a little too early after. So I think the next call will probably maybe push to the 10th, which is that following January 10th, that following Monday. We also are going to have, just similar to what we did last year, we'll have a separate meeting scheduled to talk about goals. So each team will kind of work together and figure out a couple goals for the teams. How do they fit into the overall organization? And then what do we need to do to support those goals? So we'll look at, you know, what were our successes in 2021? What can we do in 2022 to, you know, continue the growth of the organization and be more efficacious in what we're doing and more applicable in what we're offering millennials in the travel industry. So stay on the lookout for that. We'll probably send out a doodle or something to acquire feedback on like when people are available. And then, you know, with respective teams, we'll have those conversations, figure out what are some ideas, and then openly talk about it. But at this point, let's go ahead and I'll have Monica send out an updated email that we'll just do the 10th for the next, I can't say national leadership meeting, global leadership meeting now. And yeah, so until then, I hope everybody has a great holiday and that we have no more variants coming our way, and that maybe some of you will get to travel. I probably, the next meeting, I don't even know where in the world I'll be. I probably won't be in the US, fingers crossed. Again, no variant, but yeah, thank you all for your service to millennials in travel in 2021. And 2022 should be fucking awesome, I hope.
It better be.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank
everybody.
you.